What do your parents make of your meteoric rise? And did their lives change as well as the money came in?
I think it's very complicated for them, complicated and wonderful and weird, because on a very basic level, my mum, whose job it is to nurture, was dealing with an alcoholic son and an addict son. So, whether that person is famous or not, that's all that they're dealing with. And that was her and my story from 17 until 26, 25. My dad wears it very, very well. He loves it, and he's incredibly proud of me. He's also been on tour with me and done every single show with me for the last 15 years.
Wow.
Comes on and sings with me. But unfortunately, he's got Parkinson's now, and he's nearly homebound, so he can't come do that anymore. I think that my dad loves it, and my mum's found it difficult to deal with.
And there was that. I mean, I think it was misunderstood when you said "I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams." It became this big famous thing, but I gather that was a joke that was misunderstood, right?
Yeah, what happened was, actually what was happening in my mind was, I'm this charlatan that's taken up a space in the music industry just by sheer fluke of being auditioning for a boy band and getting in. And now I'm being given the biggest record contract in the history of music. I couldn't, it didn't, and I think, what does a person behave like and perform like that's being paid 80 million? I couldn't fathom it. So, a lot of the time when I'm scared, I act with bravado. I think everybody does, actually. Bravado is a cover for insecurities. And I went round to sign this contract, and the paparazzi were there, and it was the record company and an inking of a contract. And I thought to myself, all that's missing is like a giant check from the lottery, with this 80 million quid on it, me going like that. And I think my memory is that the paparazzi were like, "Give us a quote, Robbie, give us a quote." Now, there's a lady that in 1979 or 1980 won the pools, and she won $1 million or so, and it was a big win, the biggest win. And she was asked what she was going to do with the money, and she said, "I'm going to spend, spend, spend." I thought she said, "I'm rich beyond my wildest dream," which is what came out of my mouth, thinking that people will understand that I'm aping this lady. And that it erroneously, that's what I said, and then it stuck with me. And then I used to have this flat on the 15th floor in Chelsea Harbour, and the windows and the curtains were closed one day, and I just woke up with something happening outside. I'm like, "Hey, I'm on the 15th floor. What is it?" And then I heard, "I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams." And I went to open the curtain, and it was a window cleaner on one of those things. And it was just like,
Did he know it was you then in behind the curtains?
Yeah, but he didn't know that I was actually in bed listening to what he said. So I know that it went into the public as one of those moments where I said one of those things.
So I got to ask, do you actually own a private island?
No, I don't own a private island.
No.
You lived down the road from Brittany, didn't you? When the paparazzi stuff you were touching on before, that was when it was at its maddest, wasn't it?
Yeah, I used to go past, like outside of mine, we both lived on gated communities. And outside of mine, there was like several famous people, in mine: Charlie Sheen, Tom Jones, Paris Hilton, Christina Aguilera, Shaquille O'Neal, and so on and so forth, and other people, And so there would be 6 as you would turn out of the gates, just waiting for one of us. And so it would be, but then you go past Brittany's, and there'd be the gates and the road, and then a rough piece of land. And on that rough piece of land, there'd be anything between 10 to 20 cars just waiting for her.
Oh.
And I mean, I know what those moments felt like for me, and I know how unbearable they were. I could only imagine what that kind of scrutiny must have felt like.
Did you meet Brittany?
Brittany lived in another gated community. Yeah, I met several of those neighbours and we got on perfectly fine. Actually, Slash used to live across the road from me. And there was like, it's Slash. And there was one day I saw him, and, you know, he spent some time in Stoke-on-Trent. He came from Stoke-on-Trent, weirdly enough. And like, I'm from Stoke, and I'm Slash and me. And it was one of those moments where you rise above yourself and you like just notice what's happening. I'm sort of leaning against his wall and he's leaning against his wall, and we're moaning about the housing association. And I'm like, I just was like, you are with Slash in Los Angeles moaning about the housing association. What is your life? This is mental.
I heard you speaking recently about having lots of people working in your house and how strange that is to wake up and, like, you know, it's not your family, they're people working there.
Yeah, we had a rather large house in Beverly Hills, and because you make a bit of money and then you wonder what you do with it, and then you can give it to these people that are supposed to grow your money for you. And then after a while you go, I don't trust these people. I don't think they're bothered. What should we do? And then you think, well, I'll put it in bricks and mortar, because if you put it in bricks and mortar, if the arse falls out of the world, at least you'll have walls to live in. So I bought this massive place in Beverly Hills. And what I didn't understand in my naivety was what it takes to run something like that, and what it does take to run something like that. It's like having a mega yacht but on land. And you know, I won't go, but I'd come down and I'd look through the kitchen window and there'd be 11 cars in the car park, and none of them would be ours, and they'd be everybody that works at the house. And I never had the opportunity to completely relax into my newfound surroundings, because ultimately I'm from Stoke-on-Trent, and I know that 11 cars in the car park that work at your house isn't right. And because every one of those cars is costing you money. So you living in this house is costing you money.